NLT API Luke 19 verses 1 to 48. NLT Luke 19 Jesus and Zacchaeus 1 Jesus entered Jericho and made his way through the town. 2 There was a man there named Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector in the region, and he had become very rich. 3 He tried to get a look at Jesus, but he was too short to see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree beside the road, for Jesus was going to pass that way. 5 When Jesus came by, he looked up at Zacchaeus and called him by name. "Zacchaeus," he said, "quick, come down. I must be a guest in your home today." 6 Zacchaeus quickly climbed down and took Jesus to his house in great excitement and joy. 7 But the people were displeased. "He has gone to be the guest of a notorious sinner," they grumbled. 8 Meanwhile, Zacchaeus stood before the Lord and said, "I will give half my wealth to the poor, Lord, and if I have cheated people on their taxes, I will give them back 4 times as much." 9 Jesus responded, "Salvation has come to this home today, for this man has shown himself to be a true son of Abraham." 10 For the Son of Man *19:10 Son of Man is a title Jesus used for himself, came to seek and save those who are lost. Parable of the 10 Servants 11 The crowd was listening to everything Jesus said, and because he was nearing Jerusalem, he told them a story to correct the impression that the kingdom of God would begin right away. 12 He said, "A nobleman was called away to a distant empire to be crowned king and then return." 13 Before he left, he called together 10 of his servants and divided among them 10 pounds of silver. *19:13 Greek 10 - 1 mina was worth about 3 months' wages, saying, "Invest this for me while I am gone." 14 But his people hated him and sent a delegation after him to say, "We do not want him to be our king." 15 After he was crowned king, he returned and called in the servants to whom he had given the money. He wanted to find out what their profits were. 16 The first servant reported, "Master, I invested your money and made 10 times the original amount." 17 "Well done," the king exclaimed. "You are a good servant. You have been faithful with the little I entrusted to you, so you will be governor of 10 cities as your reward." 18 The next servant reported, "Master, I invested your money and made 5 times the original amount." 19 "Well done," the king said. "You will be governor over 5 cities." 20 But the third servant brought back only the original amount of money and said, "Master, I hid your money and kept it safe." 21 I was afraid because you are a hard man to deal with, taking what isn't yours and harvesting crops you didn't plant. 22 You wicked servant, the king roared. Your own words condemn you. If you knew that I'm a hard man who takes what isn't mine and harvests crops I didn't plant. 23 Why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least I could have gotten some interest on it. 24 Then, turning to the others standing nearby, the king ordered, "Take the money from this servant and give it to the one who has 10 pounds. 25 But, master," they said, "he already has 10 pounds. 26 Yes, the king replied, "And to those who use well what they are given, even more will be given. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away." 27 And as for these enemies of mine, who didn't want me to be their king, bring them in and execute them right here in front of me. Jesus' triumphant entry. 28 After telling this story, Jesus went on toward Jerusalem, walking ahead of his disciples. 29 As he came to the towns of Bethphage and Bethany on the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 disciples ahead. 30 Go into that village over there, he told them. As you enter it, you will see a young donkey tied there that no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. 31 If anyone asks, "Why are you untying that colt?" just say, "The Lord needs it." 32 So they went and found the colt, just as Jesus had said. 33 And sure enough, as they were untying it, the owners asked them, "Why are you untying that colt?" 34 And the disciples simply replied, "The Lord needs it." 35 So they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their garments over it for him to ride on. 36 As he rode along, the crowd spread out their garments on the road ahead of him. 37 When he reached the place where the road started down the Mount of Olives, all of his followers began to shout and sing as they walked along, praising God for all the wonderful miracles they had seen. 38 Blessings on the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven, and glory in highest heaven. Asterisk 19:38 PSS 1:18:26 148:1. 39 But some of the Pharisees among the crowd said, Teacher, rebuke your followers for saying things like that. 40 He replied, If they kept quiet, the stones along the road would burst into cheers. Jesus weeps over Jerusalem. 41 But as he came closer to Jerusalem and saw the city ahead, he began to weep. 42 How I wish today that you of all people would understand the way to peace. But now it is too late, and peace is hidden from your eyes. 43 Before long your enemies will build ramparts against your walls and encircle you and close in on you from every side. 44 They will crush you into the ground, and your children with you. Your enemies will not leave a single stone in place, because you did not recognize it when God visited you. Asterisk 19:44 Greek did not recognize the time of your visitation, a reference to the Messiah's coming. Jesus clears the temple. 45 Then Jesus entered the temple and began to drive out the people selling animals for sacrifices. 46 He said to them, The scriptures declare, My temple will be a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of thieves. Asterisk 19:46 ISA 56:7 just 7:11. 47 After that, he taught daily in the temple, but the leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the other leaders of the people began planning how to kill him. 48 But they could think of nothing, because all the people hung on every word he said. NLT API Luke 20 verses 1 to 47. NLT Luke 20 The authority of Jesus challenged one day as Jesus was teaching the people and preaching the good news in the temple. The leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the elders came up to him. 2 They demanded, By what authority are you doing all these things? Who gave you the right? 3 Let me ask you a question first, he replied. For did John's authority to baptize come from heaven, or was it merely human? 5 They talked it over among themselves. If we say it was from heaven, he will ask why we didn't believe John. 6 But if we say it was merely human, the people will stone us because they are convinced John was a prophet. 7 So they finally replied that they didn't know. 8 And Jesus responded, Then I won't tell you by what authority I do these things. Parable of the evil farmers. 9 Now Jesus turned to the people again and told them this story. A man planted a vineyard, leased it to tenant farmers, and moved to another country to live for several years. 10 At the time of the grape harvest, he sent one of his servants to collect his share of the crop. But the farmers attacked the servant, beat him up, and sent him back empty-handed. 11 So the owner sent another servant, but they also insulted him, beat him up, and sent him away empty-handed. 12 A third man was sent, and they wounded him and chased him away. 13 What will I do? The owner asked himself. I know. I'll send my cherished son. Surely they will respect him. 14 But when the tenant farmers saw his son, they said to each other, Here comes the heir to this estate. Let's kill him and get the estate for ourselves. 15 So they dragged him out of the vineyard and murdered him. What do you suppose the owner of the vineyard will do to them? Jesus asked. 16 I'll tell you. He will come and kill those farmers and lease the vineyard to others. How terrible that such a thing should ever happen, his listeners protested. 17 Jesus looked at them and said, Then what does this scripture mean? The stone that the builders rejected has now become the cornerstone. Asterisk 20:17 PS 1:18:22. 18 Everyone who stumbles over that stone will be broken to pieces, and it will crush anyone it falls on. 19 The teachers of religious law and the leading priests wanted to arrest Jesus immediately because they realized he was telling the story against them. They were the wicked farmers. But they were afraid of the people's reaction. Taxes for Caesar, 20 Watching for their opportunity, the leaders sent spies pretending to be honest men. They tried to get Jesus to say something that could be reported to the Roman governor, so he would arrest Jesus. 21-inch teacher, they said, we know that you speak and teach what is right and are not influenced by what others think. You teach the way of God truthfully. 22 Now tell us, is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? 23 He saw through their trickery and said, 24-inch show me a Roman coin. Asterisk 20:24 Greek a denarius, whose picture and title are stamped on it. Caesar's, they replied. 25-inch well then, he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. 26 So they failed to trap him by what he said in front of the people. Instead, they were amazed by his answer, and they became silent. Discussion about resurrection 27 Then Jesus was approached by some Sadducees, religious leaders who say there is no resurrection from the dead. 28 They posed this question, Teacher, Moses gave us a law that if a man dies, leaving a wife but no children, his brother should marry the widow and have a child who will carry on the brother's name. Asterisk 20:28 C 25:5-6. 29 Well, suppose there were 7 brothers. The oldest one married and then died without children. 30 So the second brother married the widow, but he also died. 31 Then the third brother married her. This continued with all 7 of them, who died without children. 32 Finally, the woman also died. 33 So tell us, whose wife will she be in the resurrection? For all 7 were married to her. 34 Jesus replied, Marriage is for people here on earth. 35 But in the age to come, those worthy of being raised from the dead will neither marry nor be given in marriage. 36 And they will never die again. In this respect, they will be like angels. They are children of God and children of the resurrection. 37-inch But now, as to whether the dead will be raised. Even Moses proved this when he wrote about the burning bush. Long after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had died, he referred to the Lord 20:37a Greek when he wrote about the bush. He referred to the Lord as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. 20:37 B Exodus 3:6. 38 So he is the God of the living, not the dead, for they are all alive to him. 39-inch Well said, Teacher, remarked some of the teachers of religious law who were standing there. 40 And then no one dared to ask him any more questions. Whose son is the Messiah? 41 Then Jesus presented them with a question. Why is it, he asked, that the Messiah is said to be the son of David? 42 For David himself wrote in the book of Psalms, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit in the place of honor at my right hand. 43 Until I humble your enemies, making them a footstool under your feet. Asterisk 20:42-43 PS 110:1. 44 Since David called the Messiah Lord, how can the Messiah be his son? 45 Then, with the crowds listening, he turned to his disciples and said, 46-inch Beware of these teachers of religious law, for they like to parade around in flowing robes and love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplaces, and how they love the seats of honor in the synagogues and the head table at banquets. 47 Yet they shamelessly cheat widows out of their property and then pretend to be pious by making long prayers in public. Because of this, they will be severely punished.